Valentine's Day, the most romantic day of the year, right? Day drenched in roses, whispered promises, candlelit confessions. But what if the pursuit of love on this day led not to connection, but to obsession, betrayal, and tragedy? This is not your typical sweetheart story. We are stepping beyond heart-shaped illusions into a realm where love transforms into something darker, heavier, and far more dangerous. Beneath romance lies a human hunger to be chosen, to be desired. When that hunger becomes desperation, people believe in things they normally wouldn't. Rituals, symbols, enchantments. Valentine's Day is celebrated with traditions meant to strengthen bonds, exchanging gifts, writing names, lighting candles. Most of these acts are harmless, comforting. But not all rituals are innocent. Some begin with longing and end with consequences. Tonight, on Mr. Whisper's Official, we peel back the romantic facade and uncover 3 true Valentine's Day rituals that spiraled into something chilling, irreversible, deeply tragic. These are not myths. These are cautionary echoes of what happens when love stops being a feeling and becomes a force people try to control. So before we begin, ask yourself honestly, how far would you go to make someone love you? If you could guarantee their devotion forever, would you accept the cost? Welcome to Mr. Whisper's Official, where silence speaks, shadows remember, and every story leaves a mark. If you're drawn to darker truths, subscribe now, because some stories don't just haunt the past, they follow you home. Now, let's begin where nightmares start. Light, with hope disguised as magic. It began with a simple charm, passed quietly between friends, scribbled into old notebooks. A love ritual said to bind hearts together. Harmless, they claimed. Just symbolic intention, just belief, just a whisper to the universe. The woman who performed it was not unusual, only lonely. She had spent years loving someone who never truly saw her. He was kind, distant, unaware of her devotion.
Valentine's Day, Thursday, felt like the final breaking point.
The moment hope demanded action. The ritual required 3 things. Something personal from the one you loved, a candle lit at midnight, and a vow spoken without hesitation. She followed every step precisely. Strand of hair taken from his jacket, crimson candle burning steadily in darkness, words repeated again and again. Let his heart turn only toward mine. At first, nothing happened. Days passed. Then, subtle changes began. He started calling more often, showing up unexpectedly, wanting constant contact. At first, it felt like a miracle, proof the ritual worked. But affection soon became dependency. Dependency became anxiety. Anxiety became fear. Couldn't sleep unless she answered messages. Became distressed when she left the room. Accused her of abandoning him during ordinary moments. His personality shifted, shrinking, tightening, clinging. He stopped seeing friends, stopped working, stopped existing beyond her presence. The love she once begged for became suffocating, consuming, relentless. And then came the moment she tried to end it. He panicked, begged, screamed, followed her everywhere. When she finally cut contact completely, he vanished. No explanation. His apartment untouched. Phone abandoned. Authorities found no evidence of foul play. Just absence. Silence. Disappearance. And she was left with one unbearable thought. Did she change his love? Or did she unravel something inside him that could never return? Because magic, real or imagined, doesn't control emotion. It distorts it. And when you attempt to force devotion, you may not receive love. You may create something that cannot exist without you, something that collapses when released. Some say she still keeps the melted remains of that candle. It's a reminder that wanting someone's heart and owning it are not the same thing. Love in its purest form inspires grand gestures, dramatic confessions, impossible efforts, proof that someone matters more than fear, pride, or reason. But where is the line between devotion and possession? The second ritual was never mystical, it was theatrical. A performance of love designed to be unforgettable. He wanted to create the perfect Valentine surprise. Something overwhelming, undeniable, impossible to ignore. For weeks he planned. Every location meaningful to their relationship, marked with hidden messages. Gifts placed along a path she would follow throughout the day. Friends instructed to guide her, unknowingly from one moment to the next. The finale, candlelit. Rooftop surrounded by hundreds of photographs, documenting their entire relationship. Called it a journey through our love. But there was something he never told anyone. This wasn't just a romantic gesture, it was a test. He believed if she completed the entire path, it would prove she truly loved him. If she didn't, he would finally know she never had. Valentine's morning arrived. The journey began perfectly. She found the notes, followed the trail, smiled, laughed, but halfway through, she stopped. Not because she didn't care, because she was overwhelmed, confused, pressured. She tried calling him, but he refused to answer. The instructions said to keep moving. She didn't. She went home that night. He waited alone on the rooftop, surrounded by candles burning into wax pools of time passing. Midnight came, then 1 a.m., then 2. Messages flooded her phone, first worried, then angry, then desperate. He accused her of failing the test, proving she never loved him. Days passed. His messages grew darker. He began appearing outside her workplace, outside her home, leaving photographs from the rooftop taped to her door. Eventually, authorities intervened, but obsession rarely dissolves quietly. Months later, he returned to the rooftop, alone again, recreating the final scene exactly as before. But this time, he stepped too close to the edge. Whether it was grief, rage, or surrender, no one knows. The candles burned long after he was gone, and the photographs fluttered across the empty rooftop. Memories of love, preserved in still images, while the person who created them disappeared forever. Because when love becomes a test, it stops being love, becomes control, and control, when broken, often seeks destruction. Not all Valentine's rituals begin with hope. Some begin with betrayal, with humiliation, with pain sharp enough to demand justice or revenge, disguised as closure. The third ritual was born from heartbreak so profound it refused to remain silent. She discovered the betrayal days before Valentine's Day, messages hidden, promises broken, years of trust reduced to evidence. On a glowing screen, he had planned a romantic evening while secretly living another life. The performance of love felt unbearable. She wanted him to feel what she felt. Confusion, loss, emotional collapse, and somewhere in an online forum dedicated to symbolic healing, she found a ritual meant to return pain to its source. Participants described it as emotional release, not harm, just symbolic balance. The ritual required writing every memory of betrayal onto paper hearts, placing them into a glass container, sealing it, and speaking words meant to release truth into reality. On Valentine's night, she performed it alone, candlelight flickering against glass, breath shaking with suppressed rage. She spoke every word with precision, and she smashed the container, symbolizing the breaking of illusion. The next morning, called in panic. His other relationship had collapsed unexpectedly. Secrets exposed, personal messages leaked, reputation destroyed. Coincidence, perhaps? But events escalated rapidly. Financial trouble, social isolation, emotional breakdown. Within months, he was gone, not dead, not missing. Just vanished from every known connection, as if his life unraveled thread by thread. And she was left not with relief, but emptiness. Because revenge rituals don't restore what was lost. They only prove how much was destroyed. Sometimes the curse is not what happens to them, but what remains inside you after anger has nowhere left to go. 3 rituals, 3 intentions, 3 tragedies shaped by the same human desire to control love. Instead of experiencing it, the desperate enchantment sought devotion. It created dependency. The grand gesture sought proof and created obsession. The broken heart's curse sought justice and created emptiness. Different motives, same outcome. When love becomes something we try to command, manipulate, or force into permanence, it stops being connection. It becomes possession, and possession is fragile. It cracks under fear. It collapses under pressure. Valentine's Day promises certainty, love declared, affirmed, guaranteed. But real love is never guaranteed. It is chosen freely, or it is not love at all. These stories are not warnings against romance, but against desperation disguised as devotion, against believing that emotion can be engineered, tested, or punished into obedience, because the moment love becomes a ritual of control, it stops nourishing the heart and starts consuming it. So this Valentine's Day, if you light candles, let them symbolize warmth, not control. If you make promises, let them be chosen, not demanded. And if your heart breaks, let it heal, not seek power over what cannot be restored. Some hearts are indeed best left unbroken, but even more dangerous are hearts that refuse to let go. Thank you for listening to Mr. Whisper's Official, where every shadow holds a story, and every story leaves a whisper behind. If this tale unsettled you, lingered with you, made you question what love truly is, subscribe and stay with us. Because the darkest stories are never the ones we imagine. They are the ones born from emotions we all understand. And remember, love is powerful. But when it becomes a game, someone always loses.